Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Co-Assess Assessors info session this afternoon. We are Zoe Baker and Monique Zuko from the NABERS team. We're just doing a really quick and easy assessor side webinar this afternoon, giving you a bit of a preview of Co-Assess for officers and the coming shopping centre. So we'll keep this nice and quick, and want to acknowledge the traditional owners of all of the countries that we join on from today. And our agenda for today, quick welcome that we're doing now, couple of notes on Co-Assess, and then we're going to kick into really the meat of today, which is a demo that Nick's going to take us through what Perform looks like for Co-Assess. We're finally moving into our better and slicker platform for this tool, so we're really excited about that. We will ask everyone to chuck any questions that you have along the way into the chat. If we have time, we'll address any of those that we can at the end of the session. But if we do not get a chance to answer those questions, please put them in anyway. That's going to be extremely useful for us as we're developing up what we need to communicate out to everybody, and also we can, pull that together in either a frequently asked questions or a response at the end of this session. So please pop them in there, and we'll get to all of the ones that we can. Basically, we're here to talk about Co-Assess, so that's very exciting for us. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because it's really an exciting point for us to get ready to go into Co-Assess. The Co-Assess for Office, as many of you know, has been around almost 9 years. So that's a long time that we've been learning and doing Co-Assess. It's a really exciting point that we're bringing this into the shopping centre space now that we've got the retail stores tool. And we've got all those learnings that we got out of Co-Assess and Office to take forward into the engagement, also into the tool development and how that process works. And the main thing that I really wanted to emphasize is that it's really a win-win for landlords and tenants to work together on Co-Assess. It's an opportunity for those building managers and landlords to start a sustainability conversation with tenants, whether that's something that they've been working on in other areas. The process is streamlined, it's quicker and easier for assessors. You're already coming on site to do that base building rating. And so I hope that everyone's kind of really ready to turn that into a conversation with your clients around encouraging them to offer Co-Assess to their tenants or to more tenants, whether they're in office or coming into the shopping centre space. So we're developing a whole bunch of additional resources, tools, webinar. We'll be doing another webinar for the customers in May, but we've got fact sheets coming out. We've got some little explainer videos and other things that are coming. And us in the sector lead team, we are also a resource to talk about Co-Assess. So if you've got clients who want to know more about it, please loop us into the conversation if we can help explain it and help explain some of the benefits that exist with doing the process. A couple of things to note before I hand over to Monique. We will have some training. It's an optional training for the shopping centre Co-Assess process, and there's updates coming to the rules, so those communications will come out shortly. If you have an office draft Co-Assess rating in members, we ask that you submit that by Friday the 11th, so the end of this week, or get ready to put that through on Perform from Monday. So if you have any questions or queries around that, please get in touch. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, and the platform looks really great, and we're really excited about it. And keep an eye out for the customer launch details that will come out closer to kind of mid-May. We're hoping for that webinar. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Monique, who will give us a show and tell. Monique, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I do have a bit of an unstable connection at the moment. I'm hoping it will sort itself out.
We can hear you now, so
Great. All right, so I'm going to jump in, and if anything unforeseen happens with my internet connection, I do have a whole lot of slides prepared, so we can get out the information to you if we need to. But I hope we're all good. I'll share my screen. I'm going to give you a little spin through the tool and stop and give you a example. So the first thing that you will do when you create a co-assess rating is you will select office and shopping centre from the drop co-assess rating. So it'll be that simple, no more kind of multiple tools to go in between. And so then
Monique,
the
we're
thing
just
to
not
note
seeing
is for
your
offices,
screen.
you need to select your scopes up front.
Monique, we're not seeing the shared screen yet.
Okay.
Here it's coming, it's going. Apologies
I'm
all. We've
sorry.
got rain in Sydney today.
I'm not sure I can't. It's coming. It might just be a bit slow. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I'll just now because screens are pretty much all exactly the same. For rating details for co-assess, here you'll choose whether you would like energy and water or just energy. And obviously you just want to have just one water rating in your co-assess rating. You can also select for whether you will be submitting the rating to the CBD program as well. Rating period. Again, most of it is exactly, well, it's all exactly the same. And the rating.
So what we'll do is we'll do a recording of next presentation. It is just a show and tell of the platform. The high level takeaways are that the platform, if you're using Perform already, oh, we've got her back. If you are using Perform, it's much better and nicer. Nate, apologies, we've lost you for a gap there. And we don't have any sound. Okay, we'll give it another go.
Sorry, there we go. The sound should be back.
Great, that's much clearer.
And sharing should be back. Is that sharing my screen?
That looks good. It's sharing and you're very clear now.
Okay, excellent. Sorry about that. Okay, so was just saying, yeah, rating period will apply to all of the ratings within the co-assess application. And the contacts, it looks the same as for an individual rating as well. And we just would recommend that you just add your main customer contact here to this screen, because they will be the ones that are able to view the rating and then will be sent the documentation at the end. Okay, moving into a new page that we've added especially for co-assess, and that is our co-assess details page. And from this page, you can manage all of the ratings in your co-assess application. So you'll literally be able to copy and paste from your assessor template into here all of these details. You can select which ratings have a City Switch voucher, and you can also select for each rating which rating you would like to be publicly listed. And then when you save the page, Perform will then generate for you all of the child ratings within your rating application. So this is much simpler than the spreadsheet upload process you've been used to. It's just all being done within this screen very quickly. Actually, before I move on, there was one other important thing that I wanted to show, and that is if you want to delete one of the ratings in the application, all you need to do is right-click on it and select Remove Row, and that will delete all references to this rating number across the whole rating. So you just need to be aware that you need to go back and add data in if required for that base building or whole building or shopping centre rating as necessary. But yeah, it's that easy, just the right click. Okay, moving on to hours, areas and computers. This looks pretty much the same as you'll remember from the individual rating, with the addition of a few columns. And those columns are enabling you to just indicate to the system which of these rows of data you would like to allocate or include into the relevant scoped ratings. So you can see I've selected that this ground floor level needs to be included in the base building rating, the whole building rating, as well as the tenancy rating for that one. And then at the end, you'll find lots of calculated columns for numbers that you might want to check. And again, we'd recommend you use this on a desktop because obviously it's quite a big table, but it does allow you to copy and paste all at once. One feature you might have started to notice in some of other ratings, we released this in the last couple of releases, is that we now have an indicative colour on our disabled cells where they look dark grey so that you know you don't have to put data in them. And here's a little example from a shopping centre co-assess rating where, as I scroll across, you'll see that the retail stores within this shopping centre, they are not being rated. Therefore, you don't need to enter in the retail category and a couple of these other fields. So they've been grayed out for you. So we'll just help you to keep track of, the big table of data. The other thing I just wanted to remind you is that you can adjust the column widths if you need to. So if the table does become a bit, bit large for you, just, use this like you normally would in Excel. And we've gone to quite a bit of trouble between the rules team and the expansion team and us through design to try and simplify the data that you need to put into this for shopping centres co-assess. And so Richie will tell you more about that in the upcoming training session. Okay, for utility meters, one thing that is different from your current process is that you will enter in each utility meter as its own separate page, like you would be used to in an individual rating. So you can put all of the bills in that you have. What we've added is this component here where, again, you can indicate which rating this consumption needs to be included in. So you just do that through this component here. With non-utility meter inclusions and exclusions, again, it will work the same as for an individual rating in that you will enter inclusions and exclusions separately. So that's different to what you've currently been doing in the co-assess spreadsheet for Office co-assess assessors, but will mean that you can work more consistently across all of the ratings that you're doing. And then you will see the totals from this when you are calculating your rating, and then you can download your rating results, which I'll show you shortly. So you'll see I had the Swiss chocolate store that was an inclusion for the tenancy rating, but it's an exclusion for the base building and the whole building. So that's how you'll enter in that data. For renewable electricity, again, pretty much the same as your individual rating, except we've just put this in a tablified form so that for any of the tenancies that are being rated, as well as the base building and whole building, you can just copy and paste in your data in one go if it applies. Gas and LPG, I won't go into that anymore because it's the same as grid electricity. The same applies for adding the main meters and the inclusions and exclusions. For diesel and also other inclusions and exclusions, again, same as an individual rating, but we have, again, added this component where you can then choose which rating, for example, this tank will go to and be included with. So either the base building or the whole building. Now let's just say a tenancy did have a tank. You'll see that once I select tenancy, I'll see a drop-down list of basically all of the tenancies that I've entered on my Co-Assess details page. So it'll be very simple. Okay, moving on to water. Again, this is the same as an individual rating, so you'll see we're just trying to keep this the same the whole way through. And you'll notice, I just should have clicked on this, but you'll notice that when you get here, because you've just included just one water rating in your Co-Assess rating, then you don't need to, select, oh, this is for the base building. Like it will just, the system knows that and it will just have it pre-selected for you. So you won't have to worry. Okay, over to review summary. So this is where some of the rubber hits the road. So let's pretend you've entered in all of your data. So what will happen is you'll come and you'll calculate your rating, and then all of your rating results will be compiled into two different spreadsheets, one for energy and one for water. Then that link will be made available for you to download, and you will see a spreadsheet that looks like this. So it will contain all of the rating details. It will contain the totals for your area, hours, and computers. It will have all your energy inputs, energy results, greenhouse gas emissions, so all the results that you would be used to on your review summary page. And then at the end, it will show you the potential error that is potentially in your ratings if you've selected estimation or any other values that would contribute to error. So you can come here and have a look at this column so that you can check error before you submit your rating. We've formatted it all for you as nicely as we possibly could to try and make this as easy as possible. But the spreadsheet does give you lots of scope to then be able to have a look at this data in the way that you would like. So that's how that will be working. Okay, then moving on to the last part, which is the certification process. So you'll see that the certification process page, again, it's mostly the same as an individual rating. There's a couple of differences where the public listing section will now just have a summary of how many ratings you have selected to publicly list. And if you want to change that before lodgement, that's no problem. You can just go back to your Co-Assess details page and update those selections. And we'll also show you the discount that's been applied to the rating. Say, for example, if you have a City Switch discount, it will show that here. So you do just want to make sure that you do include your City Switch vouchers and you select that discount before you lodge the rating, because the other exciting thing is that this rating will be invoiced upon lodgement like all our other NABERS Perform ratings. So it's good to have that ready to go. It's quite difficult to amend it later. So yeah, best if you try and get all of that sorted out before lodgement. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my slides for the last part. And just to talk a little bit about renewing and replacing in NABERS Perform for Co-Assess ratings. So we do have an automatic renew and replace. And there's just a few principles that we have to try and keep it as simple and as easy for everyone to manage. So the general rule is that all ratings will have the same validity dates and the same validity period, yep. And that office tenancy and retail store ratings within a co-assess rating, they can't be renewed or replaced. So they'll always just live out the validity dates that the rating is certified with. And then there's a bit of a hierarchy for the way that it'll work to make sure that we can keep all those dates the same. So the first principle is that if there's a base building rating in the co-assess application and there's a current certified base building rating or energy rating for that same premises, then you'll see over here, you'll have the option to renew or replace that base building energy rating. And then depending on what you choose, the resulting validity dates will then be applied to all of the ratings in the co-assess application. If there's no base building, then it moves down to the whole building. Then that's kind of next in line to control the validity dates. So if there's a whole building energy rating in the co-assess application and there's a current certified whole building energy rating for the same premises, you can see here you can choose to renew or replace it. And then again, all of the ratings will have the same dates. For a shopping centre co-assess, pretty much the same principle, except a little bit simpler, just because there's the shopping centre energy rating that is kind of really the only option to control the validity dates. So you'll see that renew and replace option come up there. Okay, very last slide and very last thing is the way certificates and reports will be downloaded. So what will happen once the rating's been certified at our end, there'll be a zip file link where you can download a collection of all the rating reports and certificates for every single rating. And you'll notice here that each rating has its own PDF document. And then over here, you can see that that document contains the certificate and then the report as well. So basically, every single rating just has its own little package of certificate and report documentation that can be easily sent to whoever desires it. That concludes the demo. So sorry again for the technical issues, and back to you, Zoe.
Thank you so much, Monique, for the run through, and yes, apologies for the connection issues. We have a couple of questions that I have answered a couple of them in the chat, but one that I'll throw to you just so that we can verbalize it.
Sure.
Atif was asking, are the tenancy rating numbers automatically generated now in Perform?
Yes.
Great.
The answer to that is yes. So on that co-assess details page, as soon as you've entered in the tenancy information that you would like, or the tenancy information for the tenancies that will be rated, then you can, as soon as you press save, all those rating numbers will be magically generated, just like that.
Fabulous. And then the other question that we had was around the sharing of this session. So I've put that in the chat as a response to everyone, that we'll get this edited up. I might edit out our connection issue in the middle, and we'll upload that onto the YouTube in the next couple of days. It takes a little while to get it up to YouTube. And there was a question from Matt Greening around whole building being available for shopping centres, which as Nick just mentioned, it's still just a shopping centre base building only rating. So if there's not any other questions in the chat, we've got a couple of thanks. That's basically covered everything that we wanted to do. We promised this would be a nice and short one. So I hope that's been a good introduction and everyone's ready to move off the spreadsheets and members process. We want to say thanks again for the patience, especially with the kind of double handling process that we've had with the office process, being in members and then coming into Perform to generate the REI certificate. And we're really excited for this to come into Perform now. And it'll be a new world next week where we're putting everything through in one place and it's all happening in one go. So please reach out if there's anything we can help with. In the meantime, let us know if you've got any issues with drafts or other problems, and we will send out a sort of follow-up to this session, and there'll be some other announcements as the release happens and the Perform version is ready on Monday, and we'll send out the recording links and things like that. And then the other call to action is to get chatting to your customers and clients. And once we have the date set and the webinar links for the customer launch, which will happen mid-May-ish, really get people along to that so that they can hear from us why Co-Assess is a great idea. And hopefully we get a whole bunch of both office and shopping centre ratings coming through this process. Great. Thank you everyone for coming along, and thanks Monique for the run through, and see you at the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Zoe.
Bye.